Brace yourselves, people, because the gods are back. But not your typical toga-wearing, statue-smashing versions you remember from ancient Greece.
Nope. On Disney Plus, Zeus wears suits, Ares rides a motorcycle, and Hades casually offers you pomegranate juice.
Welcome back to Geek Girl Chronicles. I'm Vivian.
And I'm Anne Margaret. And today we're diving deep into the world of Percy Jackson's Olympians. Not just how Disney Plus updated them, but how they stack up against the original Greek myths and Rick Riordan's books.
Fair warning, we'll be talking Season 1 spoilers, with a couple of light hints about what Season 2 might bring. So if you haven't binged yet, maybe hit pause, go watch, and then come back.
Because trust me, once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it.
All right, let's start with the big guy himself, Zeus. In the Disney Plus show, he's not the king of Olympus you might expect. Instead, Lance Reddick plays him like the ultimate corporate CEO. Bald, sharp-suited, and radiating angry boss energy. Honestly, you half expect him to demand quarterly lightning reports.
Right? He's stern, commanding, and every word feels like he's this close to firing Percy from existence. But if you look back at the myths, Zeus was more complicated. Sure, he was the sky and thunder god, the ruler of Olympus, son of Cronus, the whole king of the gods package. But he was also a trickster, the guy who poisoned Cronus's drink so his siblings could escape being digested. And don't forget, he was the father of, well, basically everyone. Heroes like Perseus, Hercules, plus gods like Athena. Not exactly the buttoned-up CEO type. Zeus was getting around.
Exactly. In Riordan's books, Zeus leans closer to the show version. He's paranoid, quick to anger, and immediately blames Percy for stealing his Master Bolt. In The Lightning Thief, Percy's big reward after returning the bolt, not dying. Very generous.
Thanks, Uncle Zeus. Super warm and welcoming, I guess.
But, well, in mythology, the Thunderbolt is just Zeus's weapon, forged by the Cyclops. In Percy Jackson, however, it becomes the plot. It's the missing nuke that could start World War III between the gods. So, the show simplifies Zeus into the guy obsessed with his missing property, while trimming out the trickster schemes and the, endless romantic scandals. Okay, so from Zeus, the furious CEO, let's move to his brother, Poseidon. In Disney Plus, Toby Stephens doesn't get much screen time, but when he does, he nails it. Poseidon is shown as a distant but warm dad, someone who clearly loves Percy and Sally, even though he can't fully be there.
Yeah, that beach scene with Percy, total heartbreaker. He's trying to connect, but you can feel the weight of the big three oath holding him back. It's not that he doesn't care, it's that he's literally not allowed to.
Right. And that's a big Riordan twist. In mythology, Poseidon wasn't bound by any oath like that. He's the god of the sea, earthquakes, and horses, basically a walking force of nature. One moment blessing sailors, the next shaking the earth in fury. Hesiod even says he got the oceans after drawing lots with Zeus and Hades. And of course, he's often pictured with his trident, storms raging behind him, the original Aquaman.
And mythic Poseidon was, let's say, prolific. He fathered both heroes like Theseus and monsters like the Cyclops Polyphemus. But in Riordan's world, that gets dialed way back. Percy is rare, one of the only kids of the big three. So instead of a stormy womanizer, we get this protective but unreachable father figure.
Yes, in The Lightning Thief, Poseidon finally claims Percy at Camp Half-Blood, making him stand out from all the other demigods. That's a big emotional beat, and the show mirrors it. Poseidon's pride in Percy comes through, but it's always tempered with distance.
And I love how the show ties it all back to family drama between the brothers. In myth, the big three divided the world. Zeus got the sky, Poseidon the sea, Hades the underworld. In Percy Jackson, that same trio nearly goes to war over the stolen bolt. It's literally Olympus as a dysfunctional family feud.
Mythic Poseidon is wild and destructive, but Disney Plus softens him into the loving but absent dad. Less tidal waves, more dad guilt. And now we get to maybe the biggest surprise of the Disney Plus series, Hades. Because instead of a Grim Reaper knockoff, we get Jay Duplass offering Percy pomegranate juice like he's hosting a backyard barbecue.
I know, right? He's funny, polite, even a little quirky. Which is wild when you remember that in Greek myth, Hades was not chill. He was the stern lord of the dead, feared but respected. Not evil, but definitely the god you didn't want showing up at your dinner table.
Totally. In myth, Hades drew the underworld by lot after the war with the Titans. He almost never left his realm, and when he did, things got messy, like the whole Persephone abduction saga. But overall, he wasn't the scheming villain modern pop culture sometimes makes him out to be. He was just unyielding.
Right, and Reardon kind of splits the difference. In The Lightning Thief, Percy assumes Hades is the thief behind Zeus's missing bolt. Hades looks terrifying. Black robes, skulls, the whole spooky package. He even holds Sally hostage. But, well, he's innocent. Luke and Ares set him up. So Hades becomes more of a red herring than a true villain. Hades being the villain would have been way too obvious.
And the show leans even further into that sympathetic angle. Duplass's Hades is less evil overlord and more misunderstood outcast. He's isolated from Olympus, bitter about being shoved into the underworld, but not malicious. And the show plants seeds for his relationship with Nico, his son, which is huge for later books and, let's be honest, future fan tears.
I like how Disney flips expectations here. Instead of playing into the scary underworld trope, they humanize Hades. He still commands the dead, still rules with authority, but he's given wit, loneliness, even warmth. Mythic Hades was feared. Percy Jackson's Hades? He's someone you weirdly want to hang out with, as long as you don't have to move in permanently.
Okay, let's talk about Athena. In season 1 of the Disney Plus show, she technically doesn't appear, but her shadow is everywhere. Medusa's tragic backstory, cursed by Athena after Poseidon hurt her in the goddess's temple, means we meet Athena first as a looming, almost untouchable force. And honestly, that's the perfect setup for her eventual entrance.
In the myth, Athena is one of the most iconic Olympians, virgin goddess of wisdom, handicrafts, and strategic war. And remember, she wasn't born in a cradle. She exploded from Zeus's skull, fully armed, terrifying, and metal. Unlike her half-brother Ares, who just charges in swinging, Athena is brains over brute force, the strategist's goddess.
And she's a city goddess, too. Literally the namesake of Athens. She wins that honor by gifting the olive tree, while Poseidon makes a saltwater spring. Awkward. So their rivalry goes way back, and Percy Jackson leans into it. Annabeth, Athena's daughter, is forbidden from dating Percy because Poseidon is his dad. Generational beef, Olympus style.
And through Annabeth, we see Athena's presence in season 1. Annabeth is basically Athena in action. Strategic, wise, a little intimidating. Riordan even mirrors Athena's strange birth myth. Annabeth says she was born from her father's mind, echoing Athena bursting from Zeus. So Annabeth isn't just Athena's daughter, she embodies her myth.
And now we know Andra Day is officially cast as Athena in season 2. Huge shift. In the books, Athena isn't there to hug Percy. She critiques him, warns him about his fatal flaw, and forces him to think like a strategist. She's brilliant, a little scary, and absolutely invested in Annabeth's future.
And so the contrast is clear. Mythic Athena is wisdom, strategy, protector of cities, guiding heroes like Odysseus. Percy Jackson's Athena? She's all that, plus she's a mother, even if a distant one. And Disney's setting her up as both Annabeth's divine mentor and Poseidon's eternal rival. That's a showdown worth waiting for.
If Athena is the goddess of brains, then Ares is pure brawn. And in Disney's Percy Jackson, he rides a motorcycle to prove it. Adam Copeland plays him like a swaggering biker. Leather jacket, shades, the kind of god who smirks while starting a fight.
And honestly, that's spot on for Ares. In Greek myth, he's the god of violent, chaotic war. Son of Zeus and Hera, sure, but famously unpopular on Olympus. Even Zeus hated his constant bloodlust. He wasn't the noble warrior type. That's Athena's lane. Ares just loved carnage, often rolling with his sons Phobos and Deimos, literal personifications of fear and panic.
And that contrast is key. Athena represents strategy and planning. Ares is reckless aggression. And in Percy Jackson, Riordan leans all the way in. Ares shows up cocky, loud, swinging first, thinking later. He even plants Zeus's stolen bolt in Percy's backpack just to stir up a war.
Which, shocker, is so in character. In myth, Ares almost never helps heroes. Even the other gods saw him as more liability than asset. But Percy Jackson uses him cleverly. He's a direct antagonist. Percy duels him on the beach in The Lightning Thief, a huge cinematic moment.
Yes, mythic Ares and Riordan's Ares both embody the destructive, ugly side of war. Okay, but let's talk about the most unlikely camp counselor of all time, Dionysus, or as the campers know him, Mr. D.
Jason Mantzoukas plays him like your grouchy uncle who got dragged to a PTA meeting and is already 2 glasses of Merlot deep.
But in Greek mythology, totally different. Dionysus is the god of wine, revelry, and ecstatic parties. Think of bacchanalias, grapevines, and whole crowds losing it in divine frenzies. He's also one of Zeus's favorites, partly because he's his son, partly because he's, well, the life of the wedding reception.
Right, but Percy Jackson flips that hard. Instead of Zeus's golden boy, Dionysus ticks Zeus off and gets punished. His sentence? Babysitting demigods at summer camp.
Total downgrade, from bacchanalias to bed checks.
And the show leans all the way in. Mr. D's cranky, sarcastic, and perpetually annoyed at everyone. The only myth-accurate thing that survives? His obsession with wine. Except the gods won't let him drink it.
So he's stuck with Diet Coke. The god of revelry reduced to soda. Talk about divine punishment.
Are we forgetting anyone?
Oh, well, Mr. Charmer himself, Hermes.
Played by Lin-Manuel Miranda, which honestly feels too perfect. He's witty, roguish, charming, the kind of guy who'd crack a joke while pickpocketing you.
In the show, Hermes has this smooth, playful energy. He's a jokester, sure, but still dependable enough to get the message across.
And that's very on brand for the myth. Hermes was the messenger of the gods. Fast, cunning, patron of travelers and thieves. Those winged sandals, iconic. He crossed boundaries nobody else dared to, and even escorted souls to the underworld.
So basically, UPS, a hacker, and a spiritual guide rolled into one.
Pretty much. But the books add more weight. Hermes is Luke's dad, and let's just say, not winning Father of the Year anytime soon. He's complicated, distant, flawed, but that spark of wit and trickster energy is always there.
Mythic Hermes takes his duties seriously, while Percy Jackson, especially Lin-Manuel, leans playful, almost approachable. But at the core, it's still Hermes. Clever, fast, mischievous, and impossible not to like. I do hope things get better between him and Luke, though. Season 1 gave us the big three: Zeus, Poseidon, Hades. But the Percy Jackson world is stacked with gods and demigods, and Disney is already teasing some heavy hitters for Season 2.
Right! I'm so excited for Season 2. Let's start with Artemis. Myth-wise, she's the virgin goddess of the hunt, the moon, protector of girls, and Apollo's twin sister. Bow in hand, eternal huntress. And in the Percy books, she's exactly that. Fierce, loyal, leading the hunters of Artemis. Girls only, no boys allowed. Daphne Keene's been cast for Season 3, and I can already picture her with that icy, don't mess with me stare.
Same. Percy's Artemis stays true to myth. Guardian of wildlife and young women, deadly archer. The show might modernize her dialogue, but she'll still be the untouchable huntress.
The only mythic role that gets downplayed, her link to childbirth. But it's not just gods stepping in. Season 2 is bringing in fan favorite demigods too. Like Tyson, Percy's Cyclops half-brother. He's sweet, awkward, but ridiculously strong. And honestly, he steals every scene he's in, book-wise. And then we've got Nico and Bianca D'Angelo, children of Hades. Their storyline adds a darker, more tragic edge to the series, especially Nico, who becomes one of the most beloved and heartbreaking characters in Riordan's whole saga.
And don't forget, the Olympian family tree keeps branching out. Hestia, the quiet hearth goddess, and Demeter, with her ties to Persephone and the harvest, might stay in the background, but their presence fleshes out that messy divine drama.
And hovering over all of this, Kronos. Myth Kronos was the Titan who ate his kids to dodge a prophecy. Zeus takes him down. The Olympians rise.
But in Percy Jackson, he's resurrected as the big bad. Riordan merges Kronos with Kronos, the god of time. That's why he's not just scary, he's manipulative, whispering through dreams, twisting destiny. Season 1 already teased him as that disembodied voice guiding Luke.
Which is creepy, but effective. Myth Kronos was cycles and agriculture. Percy's Kronos, pure evil. A god-eater, turned time-bending villain out for Olympus's destruction.
So yeah, Season 2's shaping up as bigger, darker, and way more dramatic. With Artemis, Tyson, Miko, Bianca, and Kronos rising, Olympus is only just getting started. So, is Hermes the most faithful god-to-screen adaptation we've seen so far?
Or just the sassiest sneaker model Olympus ever produced?
We'll let you decide. Myth versus Percy Jackson. Drop your thoughts below, because honestly, Hermes might just out-charm the entire pantheon.